On behalf of the Social Security Administration, I would just like to thank Joe, the Department of Disability Services, NJIT, the beautiful campus here. It's my first time here. And foremost, the consumers and advocates. And when Joe and I talked, the feeling's reciprocal. We can actually solve problems directly together, and often we do it in a day's notice. So when you talk about information referral, it's just so good that we can work so well together as organizations. As you probably know, Social Security is a federal government agency, the Social Security Administration. And when you think about the theme of today, information and referral, how many government offices can you actually go into and talk to somebody face to face? So we act not only as experts in our program, but we refer people to other state, local, and other federal programs. And Joe and I, if we measure success by outcomes, I think we've been successful in many situations to point people in the right direction the first time, to avoid unnecessary delays, expedite certain things, and at the least, many times, able to explain why somebody can't get the relief that they were hoping for. But we always try to find other agencies, we try to find other programs that may fill the cracks in a person's individual circumstances. What Joe asked me to talk about today was the differences between the Social Security and the SSI programs. And we sort of put this together quickly, and if Joe asked me what topic I wanted to talk about, it would be that. Because I think that's a point of departure or a point of understanding what Social Security has to offer you and your loved ones. And it's not just the consumers that have a lot of difficulty in distinguishing between the two programs, but it has to do with advocates, caseworkers themselves. Because when you think about it, both the programs, Social Security, let's take in this instance disability, and SSI disability, you'd go to the same local Social Security office, talk to the same interviewer. Sometimes the forms are in common, but the programs are two different programs. They're funded by two different sources and two different regulations. So before I get to your individual questions after my presentation, I thought what I would do is try to give you a basic understanding on how you can keep those two programs separated. One of the things in common between the Social Security Disability Program and the SSI program is the definition of disability itself. The definition for an adult is that a person has to be so disabled that their disability would keep them from doing any type of substantial work for a period of a year or more. For an adult and for children, which is a different definition, the definitions are common for both programs. As mentioned earlier, some of the forms are the same, but after that, the programs are completely different. So a person could come into our office, you could come in as a parent, an advocate, a caseworker for an individual with disabilities, and you may be entitled to Social Security disability, to SSI disability, dependents benefits, or both. So we'll help you do that. We'll help you sort through that. You don't have to ask us. We'll help to differentiate the two programs to you. So let's first start with the SSI disability program. SSI, besides disability, also provides benefits for individuals who are blind and individuals who are aged, meaning 65 years or older. Again, the definition is the same, but a person applying for SSI disability not only has to meet that basic definition of disability, but they have to have limited income and resources. So before we even take a claim from an individual with a disability, we would first determine what their income, their resources, and their living arrangements are. A person could have the severest disability, but if they don't meet that income, resource, and the living arrangements requirement for payment, we would deny that claim without getting a medical disability. So there's that income, resource, and living arrangements requirement. What's very, very important when you're considering resources and income for SSI disability is to remember that at age 18, mom and dad's income for children are no longer considered in the mix. The specific income and resources that mom and dad has. So you could have a person with the same, in this case, developmental disability, and they may not be eligible prior to age 18 because of income and resources, but at age 18, mom and dad's income and resources no longer are counted. When you think about the SSI and what's very, very important for most consumers, besides the benefit itself, would be the associated health care that goes along with it. And if a person's eligible for SSI, what comes along with that in almost all cases would be Medicaid benefits. And we all know the importance of Medicaid in terms of the ability to access health insurance. Also, the SSI program is funded by general revenue. So when you think about SSI disability or the SSI program, think of SSI in terms of income and resources, number one, Medicaid, and it's funded by general revenues. Social Security disability is different. Social Security disability is funded by credits of coverage based upon the taxes that a person pays into it. So if you look at your pay stubs, you see Social Security tax taken out based on the amount of work that you're doing either now or in the past. And in order for somebody to get Social Security disability benefits, they have to have a certain amount of credits based upon their work, and they also have to have a current connection with the workforce, depending upon a person's age. People over 31 basically have to work at least parts of 5 out of the last 10 years, and people under 24 only have to have a minimum of a year and a half of work. So for Social Security disability, the more you pay in, the more you get out. You have to have that current connection with a workforce. As opposed to SSI, that's funded by general revenues, Social Security is funded by the FICA tax or Social Security tax that's taken out of wages. You can also get benefits from Social Security as a dependent or a survivor. If you look at the very basic concept of Social Security, which is one of the few things that haven't changed since it was signed into law 75 years ago, is that Social Security replaces loss of income due to death, disability, or retirement of the worker. So the worker and the dependents of the worker can get Social Security benefits. Children, spouses, disabled individuals. So just keep that in mind. So when you think about Social Security disability, think about it as based on Social Security taxes. The National Health Program that goes along with Social Security is Medicare, not Medicaid, which is for SSI, and it's not based on income or resources. So what I like to say, it doesn't matter whether you're a Robinson or a Rockefeller. If you pay into those benefits and that you have at least a minimum amount of quarters, that current connection with the workforce, you may be eligible for disability benefits based on your work or dependents or survivors benefits based upon a parent, again, who's either retired, deceased, or disabled. One of the things, since we talk about information and referral, which is really the theme of today's conference, is that you need to access this. There's a lot of information on Social Security. Just differentiating the two programs can be somewhat confusing. And what I was really pleased today was to talk to a couple people in the room, and they had mentioned how good our website was as one of the ways of accessing our programs. And that website can be accessed at www.socialsecurity.gov. Again, for people who missed that, I can repeat it during our discussion group, which I'm looking forward to. But again, that's a wonderful source of information. In fact, people can actually file a disability claim under the regular Social Security right online by accessing our website. And what's very, very important for advocates and consumers to know, you can access what our adjudicative standards are right on our website. So if you went to the search engine on top of it, if you typed in Blue Book, you could actually see what our adjudicators will look for in making that decision. And Social Security is committed to making the proper decision at the quickest amount of time. We want to do it as quickly as possible, so we will actually show you what our criteria is. So if you're filing a claim for yourself, for a loved one, or as an advocate, you can access that Blue Book. Now, computers aren't for everybody, so one size doesn't fit all. You can still get that same world-class service by making an appointment with your local Social Security offices. What I strongly recommend for anybody who went into a Social Security office without an appointment, if you didn't wait a long time, you're lucky. But what you can do is you can call our national 800 number at 800-772-1213. And you can make an appointment. When you make that appointment, that actually protects your filing rights. It'll protect your rights to get benefits until the paperwork is completed. On that note, one of the general things that I can advise people to do is if you think you're entitled but not sure, make that appointment. File that claim. Because if you don't do it and you wait beyond a certain month, retroactivity is very limited, and we don't want you to lose any benefits that you may be entitled to. So I just wanted to give a brief overview of the benefits that you can be entitled to. I look forward to the question and answer period of this. And again, I'd like to thank New Jersey Institute of Technology and the New Jersey Division for allowing Social Security to participate in this wonderful project. Thank you very much.